and we have a wonderfully loyal audience, which I'm very grateful for. It's very difficult to really get the measure of how many people watch the show and enjoy the show when you live in Los Angeles or you spend your time in Los Angeles or New York. But I'm out in the heartland right now, and just shooting in Cordell in Oklahoma. The locals they just love The Mentalist. They love the show, and they're very they're very lovely about it. You don't really see that very often. So it struck a chord with a few people out there, and I'm happy about that.
It struck a chord right off the bat. Didn't this show have 15 million viewers its first night out? Something extraordinary. I mean, people just knew this thing was exceptional, and that's what I think. And it keeps building on that. So you were a breakout hit from the first episode.
Well, I think isn't it sort of historic? I mean, I've been around the block with the old episodic television, a little bit. I did a series called The Guardian for 3 years, and
you were Golden Globe nominated for that.
Yes, I was. I was very fortunate with that, and I always thought that a premiere, if marketed well, people will show up and watch the premiere episode of most shows. It's whether or not they come back the next week is the key, and we got very lucky and we increased the next week, so that was very exciting. I mean, it's hard work, and I love doing it, and I'm very fortunate to be able to have the opportunity to do it. But to have an audience like we have watching the show and loyally watching the show is, you can't. There's no measure of how grateful I am to be in that position.
Now, if you're nominated for an Emmy, Simon, you have the terrible, terrible chore of picking one sample episode from the past TV season as an example of your best work. It goes before an Emmy jury. What would that be? If you just have to, and you can only pick one, so would it be the pilot, or what are some of your other favorite?
What do you reckon? I'd ask a few people.
Pilot's pretty good.
How can I be a judge? How can I be a judge of that?
Yeah.
That's a tough one. I'm not the best. I'm not the best viewer of my own work at any time, but in that situation, I'd be overanalyzing all of it. I'd have to get a little panel of people that I rely on their taste and get them together. You give me the gist, Tom. Which one do you think?
I think you can't miss with the pilot. Usually the pilots that get submitted often are the winners in that category because it introduces the character. Of course, the whole complicated backstory of Jane is in that pilot episode. It's pretty powerful.
Yeah, I think I always look to the pilot as, the prototype episode. Yeah. Even when we're shooting now, I'm constantly trying to go back to the pilot and thinking, the pilot this, the pilot that, we set this up, we should follow this through. And, I think I annoy a few people with my constant referral back to the pilot, but it does, with a television show, it does set what the precedent is with that show. It should. You get 13 days to shoot it and a little bit more money. Mm-hmm. And the script can be worked on, whereas once you're into the season, you're hurtling down the track. You've got 8 days to shoot an episode, and you've got to turn it around and drop it off at the network. And the scripts, it's intense. I mean, it's exciting intense, but it's hard to always get the ball on the bat squarely once you're in the middle of the season. Bat on the ball.
Okay, last question here. Let's go back to the Golden Globes 2002. You were nominated against James Gandolfini and Martin Sheen, and Kiefer Sutherland won, but you were in that heavyweight bout once before. What's it like to be in that? Because if you get into the Emmy race again, you're going back into that arena. What's it like from your side of the...
Have you seen the Emmy race? Oh my! Have you seen it?
Well, we don't know what it is yet because the nominations don't come out till July 16th.
I know, but there's so many good actors on television. In from cable through to network, it's like, who do you buy the case of scotch for? Because, I'll buy it.
Well,
I don't think,
well, if you get nominated, there are only about 70 jurors then who pick the winner, so that's only 70 bottles, 70 cases of scotch. You think the network will spring for that? or will you pick up that bill yourself?
Oh, I'll pick that one up. That's fine. I'll personally deliver them.
All right, well, good luck then.